Okay, now on to a brand new segment that I'm super excited about. Awesome Shapiro and not as awesome Shapiro. In honor of Ben's segment on good Trump, bad Trump, I'm going to review the things that Shapiro does and says that go way above and beyond, and then the things that might have fallen just a little bit short. Now, just for the record, just to be very clear here, I would not dare criticize Ben Shapiro, as everything he does is awesome, just awesome, right? But he's not yet perfect, and unfortunately, this is by his own admission. And a word of advice, Ben, I would never admit my faults. Like, just bad strategy. But you be you, right? So, awesome Ben. Let's start with the awesome Ben, is whenever the Grammys come around, right? It is just amazing to watch someone eviscerate completely the most self-righteous, self-serving elitists that this country has. It's just really where Ben shines. It brings me back to the good old days when Jon Stewart did the same thing. And to be fair to Ben, I think he does it even better. If you know how much I love Jon Stewart, you know that's quite the compliment. Now, let's go to not so awesome Ben. And again, major disclaimer here. I'm not criticizing Ben, but just highlighting maybe a couple things he might have been able to improve on slightly on his already impressive analysis of the world and of the facts of politics. So I bring you back to a few months ago on January 29th, specifically episode 463 of the Ben Shapiro Show. And Ben did a piece on Jay-Z's interview on the Van Jones Show. Now, as part of that interview, Jay-Z did take a shot at Trump being racist, and Ben basically called BS and hypocrisy on Jay-Z's opinion, kind of citing that Jay-Z doesn't really have a strong leg to stand on in terms of political discourse, and especially racism, citing his kind of support of the Nation of Islam, who've consistently been anti-Semitic, and just also his kind of past criminal history. So I'm sure Ben would have been proud, as I decided to go straight to the source and watch the full interview and form my own opinions. And I really think Ben missed a massive opportunity here. Of course, Jay-Z will think Trump is racist. Like, the media has played that angle so hard, and Trump's bad judgment on how he's responded to some situations with white supremacists, as well as just confirmation bias. People are expecting him to be racist, so they'll take anything he says to be even more racist. I'm not surprised if nearly every single black man or woman believes that Trump is racist. But I think we can and should look beyond this in the case of Jay-Z, as well as look beyond his criminal past. Because Jay-Z said two things in that interview that were incredibly powerful. First, he talked about breaking the cycle of divorce for black men and women, that he wanted people to see a different outcome, specifically his children, and that marriage was something worth fighting for. Then Van Jones asked him a very direct question. What advice would he give to young black men who had hurt someone? And Jay-Z gave the best possible response he could give. He said the best apology is changed behavior and acknowledging the pain you caused. So the reason I feel that Ben really missed an opportunity here is because Ben is constantly and consistently pointing out that a source of inequality in America between the black community and the rest of America is the reality of single motherhood and the consequences of that. And here's a well-respected black man promoting marriage and asking men to change their behavior. So if Ben's point is that culture needs to be changed, what better way to change the culture? So despite his flaws, full respect to Jay-Z for committing to marriage as something that is worth fighting for and investing in. I have one more not as awesome Shapiro, and that's his taste in music. And look, I'm not someone who can judge. My favorite singers are Mariah Carey and Shania Twain, and one of my favorite songs of all time is Jolene, right? So look, I have no leg to stand on, but we all know that Ben Shapiro's music taste is a 60-year-old man in a 34-year-old body. And every time he starts talking about his love of classical music and the musicals that he's a fan of, it's almost like I'm in a parallel universe sci-fi reality where the speakers and all his listeners' laptops and phones suddenly become microphones and I can hear them groaning. Like, it's actually kind of funny. But look, one of the things I love about Shapiro is he doesn't care. That's what he loves. That's what he's going to talk about. So you be you, Ben. You do you. You live and speak your truth and your life.